Hi, sixth graders. Our job today is to talk about greatest common factor. You're going to be able to identify the factors of two whole numbers less than or equal to 100 and determine the greatest common factor. So when we talk about greatest common factor, it is going to be the largest common factor of two or more numbers. And typically we abbreviate greatest common factor to GCF. So how do you find the greatest common factor? To start off, you're going to use prime factorization for both numbers. And that's where you're going to create that factor tree that we talked about last week. You're going to list all of your prime factors in numerical order. From least to greatest. It really helps for us to see what factors they have in common when your work is organized. You're going to circle the factors that are the same. If there is more than one factor in common, you're going to find the product of those numbers. And product in math means that we're going to multiply. All right, so let's do a couple examples together. So our first one, we're going to find the greatest common factor of 12 and 15. On your sheet of paper, go ahead and factor out 12 and 15 to your prime numbers. All right, let's see how you did. Our prime factorization for 12, we're going to list this in numerical order, is 2 times 2 times 3. Our prime factorization for 15 is going to be 3 times 5. Your next job is to ask yourself, what factors do these two numbers have that are in common? What is the same? And the factor that is the same between 12 and 15 is going to be 3. That is your answer. Our greatest common factor between 12 and 15 is 3. All right, let's try our next one. We're going to find the greatest common factor of 66 and 99. Once again, go ahead and take a moment and create that factor tree and factor those two numbers down to your prime numbers. All right, let's see how you did. Remember, after you create your factor trees, you're going to list those prime numbers in order from least to greatest. So for 66, I have 2 times 3 times 11. And for 99, I have 3 times 3 times 11. Now again, ask yourself, what is in common between 66 and 99? So for these two numbers, we have two factors that are in common. We have a 3 that's in common, and we have an 11 that's in common. So to find the greatest common factor when there is more than one prime factor in common, we multiply those numbers together. We have 3 times 11, which means our greatest common factor is going to be 33. All right, last one. We have find the greatest common factor of 36 and 49. Go ahead again and take a minute, create that factor tree. Let's see if we got the same answers. So your prime factorization for 36 is going to be 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And for 49, I have 7 times 7. Ask yourself, what factor do these two numbers have in common? And if you're saying to yourself, they don't have any factors in common, that is correct. So what would the greatest common factor be? What would the only common factor be between 36 and 49? And that answer would be 1. So our greatest common factor for 36 and 49 is 1 because we have no prime factors that are in common. So just as a quick reminder, you're going to go in and you're going to play the Prodigy game. You have 10 questions on greatest common factor, and then you're going to go into Jefferson and complete your questions in Jefferson. All right, let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys later.